Max.
Hey, what's up?
Must-see district games in Class 2A. We've been running through these now that the UIL districts are set, kind of looking at the must-see district games in each classification. We have limited ourselves to one per region.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we would be here all day.
Yes.
And this is also to say that these are not the only big games. These are only the
Right.
ones that we looked at and said, you know what, these are the biggest games in the class. So we are going to start. We're going to do 2A. We're going to start Division 1.
Yep.
Region 1. Way out west. Way out west. District 4, 2A, Division 1. Post and Hawley. I think a lot of people don't realize how good Post was last year.
Right.
Like, they ran through the regular season undefeated, went 11-1. They were fantastic. Coach Michael Pittman's Antelopes were outstanding, and they bring back a fair amount of firepower. Specifically, they bring back a 1,000-yard rusher in A.J. Reed, and that's a really nice place to start for them. Now, if somebody's going to topple them in that district, it's probably going to be Hawley.
Quay Stokes.
What's that?
Quay Stokes, quarterback.
Yes.
My boy.
Okay.
I'm just excited. I'm just excited. Why can't I be excited? Why is that a problem?
Well, can I do the segment and then you can pipe in?
I'm here too.
Okay.
Fine.
So Hawley's really good, and why are they good, Max?
I just said.
Say it again, Max.
Quay Stokes, man.
There you go. Quay Stokes is their superstar kind of quarterback. A little bit undersized, but a guy who ran for 800 yards, threw for another 2,000. He's a lot of fun to watch.
Is that an all-name
Only a
team
junior
candidate? Does that qualify?
Quay?
It's on the line, isn't it?
He would be. I'll tell you, he's on the JV of the all-name team,
Yeah,
because the all-name
reserves.
team there's a lot of really
Yeah,
great names.
there's just a lot of competition.
So I'm very excited to see Post and Hawley battle it out in District 4 2A Division 1. Region 2, this was tough, but I went with Martin Bosqueville for a number of reasons. One, they're great tradition here. These are two teams that do not like each other. They're used to playing each other. They do not like each other. I also think that Mart is on the way up. I think last year an 8-3 record for Mart is relatively disappointing for them, but they bring back a fair amount, especially on defense. I really like Tyree Williams and Cooper Bays rather, in the middle of that defense. But Bosqueville's not going to go away quietly. This is a very good, very dangerous team. Adrian Mathis is kind of their do-it-all athlete. I'm excited to see Mart and Bosqueville tangle in District 8 2A Division 1. Region 3 in Division 1. We're going to go with Springfield's rival, Shelbyville, the Dragons. Another team, I always make that joke, and in the recent past, it's been okay because they haven't been very good, and so it's like the only thing to talk about.
They're pretty good now.
They were great last year, 12-1 last year. Now they lose Octavian Burrell, who is really the workhorse for them. But if you go and you talk to Coach Jason Ferguson, he thinks that this new kid, this Trace Britton or this Terrell Cartwright, either one of them can step up and be the next big thing for this running attack. I think that they've got a chance to knock off Alto. Although Alto, is a team that, even though they lose their own star in Keenan
they're
Johnson,
kind of a similar boat.
Yeah, they lose their superstar in Keenan Johnson, but they've got a lot of different kinds of weapons out there. Micaiah Hackett, Roderick Woodson, especially on the defensive side. I think that this defense could be very good for them. And so, what we were talking about earlier in the show when I was like, there's some games that I'm kind of excited about, like Post and Hawley. I'm pretty excited about that. And then it's like, then there's Refugio and Shiner.
Two best teams in the state.
15-2A D1. If you want to squint and you want to tell me that these are the two best teams in 2A,
I think it's an easy case to make.
I think there's a lot of evidence to support that. And these two teams have been locked up in the same district for a couple years now, and I'm starting to get the idea that they don't like each other.
I mean, I think, and the other part of it too is I think 3 of the best 5 teams in the state might be in this district with Weimar.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to lump them in there, this is that whole district is pretty ridiculous.
Pretty filthy.
Yeah, I mean, it starts with Furio and Shiner. Weimar, I think Yorktown's going to be pretty good.
That's another one too.
And then if you want to talk about a team with tradition, like Ganedo's still in that district, and they've got a team. That's a team with tradition. I really like this district, but I mean, you'd be kidding yourself if you didn't look at Refugio and Shiner. So many great storylines here. The one that always sticks out to me when they play is the clash in styles.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing.
Refugio is just wide open, spread it out.
Yeah.
Let's see how far apart our two wide receivers can get.
Yeah.
And Shiner is we're going to load it up and bulldoze forward, and there's just a lot of fun to play to see that. I think it's going to depend largely on the defenses here.
Yeah.
Shiner, of course, always has a great defense. Got a little bit of rebuilding to do. Refurio had a better than you think last year defense, and a lot of it comes back. Very excited to see what they have to do. Let's move down to Region 2, or Division 2, rather.
Yeah.
Region 1, Seagraves and Roscoe.
Woo.
So Seagraves loses Corey Kyle,
Yeah.
right? So they're losing their big bruising running back. How will they kind of and this is a team, remember, that played but went to the semifinals, very nearly knocked off Albany. I think they lost 12-7 in the semifinal. Roscoe, the Plowboys were a team that were better than you think, and I think they're on the rise. 10 starters back for the Plowboys. They're going to be buoyed by when you talk to their coach, they got a great JV crop coming up. I think this is a squad that could really make some noise. So I'm excited to see Seagraves and Roscoe in District 4 2A Division 2. District 8 2A Division 2, Munster and Lindsay. Okay, another two teams that do not like each other. Two teams that are used to playing each other. Big time rivalry. Munster, another team that got knocked out in the semifinals. They got knocked out by Bremond. Well, here you go. Munster now moves over to Region 2. Will this do any sort of service? They're going to have to get through Lindsay, and Lindsay is loaded.
Yeah.
18 starters back for them. They lost all of 5 seniors from a team last year that went 8-3 and honestly got a bad beat in the second round against Norman G. 52-46. That was a bad beat. Yeah. I think they're angry, and I think that this Lindsay and Munster game is going to be a lot of fun. I had a tough decision in Region 3 because you could go. I mean, look, you could just say, okay, what is Bremond's toughest district game? I don't know. I picked Bremond and Hubbard, and Hubbard's going to be pretty decent. Remember, this is a team that went 10-3 last year, but I think when Bremond moved over from Region 4, or rather from Region 4 to Region 3, I think that they immediately, I mean, look, they're the two-time defending champs. I think they immediately became the best team in Region 3, and I think that they were, as happy as Region 4 was to get rid of them, I think they were pretty happy to get out of Region 4 as well. Yeah. I think Region 4 in 2A Division 2 is going to be tougher and kind of deeper than Region 3. Right. That said, Hubbard's not going to be a pushover. This is going to be probably that's probably the second best team in the region in Hubbard, and it's in their own district. I'm excited to see what Hubbard can do, especially with a defense that brings back 7 starters from a squad that won 10 games last year. You can't discount that.
Talk to Jeff Kozowski, the head coach at Bremond. The one thing he is concerned about in Region 3 is the speed. He said he feels like it's a much faster region. When they were at the regional track meets and state track meets this year, he says the most noticeable thing is the overall speed is a bigger challenge. And you know what? With an offense like theirs, you could see maybe a couple more shootouts that make things a little more dangerous for them this year.
Well, yeah, because you look at kind of the powers in Region 4, right?
Right.
Teams like Falls City, feels like Bruni, teams like Bruni. These are teams that aren't predicated on speed; they're predicated on power. Yeah. These are beefy, strong kids. Region 3, that's a great point because that is faster. So I think this is more telling, not necessarily in this particular game, right? Because look, Rashad Paul and Bremond are going to be favorites in every game they play this year, including the state championship game. They're going to be the favorites in every game that they play. This is more of a question of, all right, they're going to have to play 4 games against Region 3 opponents to get to a state semifinal. To get out of that region, they got to win 4 games. Bi-district area, regional semifinals, and regional final. Yeah, they got to play 4 games. This is going to be more of a look ahead of, okay, are they going to breeze through Region 3? Right. Or are they going to get a lot of, Hubbard's probably a team that they'll have to play twice, honestly. Yeah. So once here and then once in the playoffs. And then Region 4, I went with District 15 2A Division 2. I went with Flatonia and Falls City.
Great picks.
So Flatonia is another squad that I think you look at. Sweden equalized. Look who it was.
Yeah, shocking.
The Flatonia is another squad that I think that you look at their record and they have a very ugly record. They went 7-6. They entered the playoffs at 5-5. And this was kind of a team that was considered, they'll just kind of do what they want. Well, then they kind of plod along and make they screw around and make a regional final. And they play Shiner. Now Shiner took them to the woodshed, but they bring back 13 starters from that team. I think a team that could be ready to challenge Falls City. Falls City, of course. Now you would have to. Oh, it's an own goal.
Ooh.
Oh no, Ireland. Oh no. Oh, Danny boy. The pipes are coming. Oh no! Oh, sorry, we're watching soccer. Fall City has to be considered to me, depending on what you think of Bruni. I think Bruni loses a ton from last year.
Yeah. Including their coach.
Including their coach. Fall City has got to be the I think the favorite to come out of Region 4. Flatonia is probably their toughest. They're either their toughest team, a team they'll probably have to play twice, depending on what the draw ends up being with a team like Bruni. So, Fall City versus Flatonia, our pick in Region 4. Those are our must-see 2A district games. What games did we miss? Let us know at DCTF. Use the hashtag DCTF Live.